Hello, 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 hello. Welcome once again to today's edition of the Unscripted Podcast. Welcome back. There's a place like you already know where we let life speak, unscripted, raw, real, reflective. Uh, and today I just want to pretty much dive into something that's been sitting with me lately. Not something flashy. It's not flashy. It's a topic that is I wouldn't really say trends, but it's something I believe that is deeply human. Yes. And I hope that we get to I believe we all do have this thought. So I hope that we get to reflect on this because I know it's without a doubt one of the most essential dialogue we must have with ourselves. Um, and that's pretty much becoming comfortable with not knowing. Yeah, let that settle. Let it settle. Becoming comfortable with not knowing. Whew. I don't know what that means to you. Um, See, we live in a world where people, things, a world that teaches us to have answers, um, to be certain, to plan first or 5 steps ahead of time. We scroll through highlights, reels of people who seem like they have their life or their goals all figured out. And I know we all go through that. Most of us do. One time in our life, we probably must have gone through that stage where we look at people and we think they are perfect. We feel they have everything all going fine for them. And it starts to feel like we are behind, that we've been left behind because we don't have the clarity. We feel we don't have the clarity, or we probably do not have the clarity. But what if we're told? What if I tell you that not knowing is a sacred place? If I tell you not knowing, it's a sacred place. It is not failure. It's a formation. Um, because we are by design or conditioning creatures who seek answers, and we chase a clarity like oxygen. We organize our days, our years, even our destinies around the illusion that certainty is, safety. And yet, life, in all its wild, sacred unpredictability, constantly invites us into the unfamiliar space. It's unnerving, isn't it? I believe it is. That space where the blueprint fades, where the answers don't arrive on time, where you don't calculate your next step or you cannot calculate your next step because you don't see the staircase, you don't see the path, you're confused, you don't know where else to go, how else to go about what you need to do. You find answers, you're confused. I've been there. I've been there. I have been there. That space where you wonder what life is all about, how you go about that present circumstance. I've been there more than once. Let me take you back to a moment. There was a season in my life where I felt suspended. I felt like I wasn't moving forward. I believe some of us tend to have that. I don't know about others, but as humans, we tend to. I felt like I wasn't moving forward. Not I wasn't going back, but I wasn't moving forward. I was just hanging in a liminal space. I felt I was stuck, no direction, no vision. just waking up to questions about my path, my purpose. As I couldn't even understand my own voice. I was confused. I've been there. There have been times in my life where I've gone through that, where I've prayed. I felt I've prayed enough. I felt I've had planned enough. I felt I'd even made the necessary strategies. I was looking for answers. I searched well for answers, but silence was really deafening. It was like the more answers I sought for, the more silence I get. I felt lost. Um, I've been there. I guess I'm saying this to make you understand that you are not alone. It happens. That space where you find answers, you seek for answers, but you don't get the answers as fast as possible, as quick as possible. And the not knowing makes you feel powerless. You feel like you're nobody, no strength. There's no power in you. I felt like I was failing in that situation. I know we all do, because we don't have the answers. We feel like the whole world is crumbling. We feel exhausted, drained, because we don't have the answers. Then I used to panic. In those moments, I used to panic. I try to force the answers. I try to fill in the silence, make decisions just to escape the discomfort. You just want to do any random thing that comes to your mind because you just want to shy away from that. So you want to run, you want to avoid it. Oof. But then I discovered the truth. When I did, something shifted. I stopped fighting the fog. I began to sit it in, to listen. I found that there is wisdom in the waiting. There is wisdom in the waiting. There is growth in the gray areas. There is divine becoming in the absence of answers. I discovered that uncertainty isn't the enemy. Being uncertain about the answers, the way, the path, the solution is not an enemy. It's not. Trying to find the answers to every question you want and not getting it, not knowing or certainty is not the enemy. It's actually the soil where clarity is born. Yes, it is. The soil where clarity is born. I I learned that sometimes the most powerful thing you can say is I don't know, but I'm open to find out. Yeah. Not knowing is not the problem. Being able to admit that you do not know, it's not the problem. Being able to look at yourself and admit that you do not know is not a problem. The problem is not being able to open up to find out. Not knowing makes space for it tends to make space for curiosity. It humbles you. It humbles you. Now the problem is when you have pride to not accepting not knowing. If you allow yourself to walk in the humility of not knowing, then there is an opportunity for discovery. There's an opportunity for finding answers. So don't feel bad that you do not know. It makes space for curiosity. It breaks the pride that comes with thinking we always have to be right, of which we do not always have to be right. We cannot always be right because then, if we are always right, then there's no opportunity for growth. Then we have perfection. There's nothing we can learn or want to learn. It believes we are the teacher to every situation or every circumstances. We don't always have the answers, but being open to discovery of the answers is a gift, is a blessing. So don't feel bad that you do not know. We as human don't always have the answers. We don't. It's how will I put it? You just have to know that you don't have the answers and believe that or pretty much say you want to find the answers because it invites bigger, something bigger than us. Call it fate, intuition, God. It invites God to guide you instead of you trying to control it. It invites your mind open or being open to answers instead of you being drowned to lack of knowledge. Um, it's it's not bad. Somewhere along the way, we were taught that ambiguity is a threat. That if you're behind, if you're not going at the pace of everybody, at the pace of people close to you, your family could be your brother or your friends and all of that. The world has taught us that if we're not going at the same pace, that if we don't have it all figured out by a certain age, then we are inadequate. But that's not true. You're not inadequate. We do not always have to have it all figured out. That's what the world is creating or has created. Those are the seeds that have been laid, which are false. That's a lie dressed in ambition. It's a lie dressed in ambition. The truth is, the mind that is humble enough to say, I do not know, but I'm listening, um, is a mind that evolves. Evolution is something that is of existence in life. And only those who admit not knowing tend to evolve. Only those who are humble enough admit that they do not know and are willing to want to learn and listen are the ones that evolve. Only those who are open to corrections, only those who are open to opportunities, only those who are open to learning are the ones that evolve. Yeah, there is no shame in being uncertain. It's not an indictment against your potential. No, it's not. It's a mirror showing you who you are when you have no script. It's so easy for us to go through something and be reading, and we're all reading, and it's so easy. It comes out fluently. But when we don't have a direction as regards to a situation, that is who we are. And it's okay because then there's an opportunity to learn. Then, if we're humble enough to allow our curiosity open up, there's an opportunity for learning. Yes, there is. Who are you in that raw state? Who are you? Who am I in that raw state? Who am I? That's the real work. That's the real work. There's nothing that is of purity that didn't go through a stage. The gold, the diamond, all of that went through a process. Process. The beautiful cars you drive, they all went through a process. The roads you drive on went through a process to be paid for you to walk on. The shoes you wear, the clothes you put on yourself, the food you eat, everything in life went through a process. You are going through a process. And part of the process is also not knowing. It's in that moment you discover. You discover your real state. You don't need anybody to applaud you. There's no title to hide behind, nothing like that. You're simply raw. That's the real work. That's just the real work. Um, to be comfortable in not knowing is to be radically open. Open to being shaped, to being surprised, to being led by something greater than you. Is to say, I do not know how this is going to end, but I trust that the author knows the plot better than I do. Who is the author? I guess that's another question for you to answer. Yeah. Trust the author because he knows the plot better than you do. Trust God. Trust God. He knows it better than you do. And trusting God, the author, is not laziness. It's that's courage. That's courage. It's a courageous thing to trust God, believing that He knows everything better than you do. That's faith. That's wisdom wrapped in surrender. That's courage. That's faith. That's wisdom wrapped in surrender. Let me speak to someone right now. I believe I am already, but I believe this is for someone. If you're in a season of fog, if you've prayed and planned and things still feel like they don't make sense, if you feel you've tried every necessary knowledge, you've pretty much implemented every necessary knowledge you can, you've imputed the best of your strength, you've gathered every information, you've tried everything, you've hoped, you've prayed, you've done all that. You and you still feel you're getting all silence. Take a deep breath. Hmm. Take that breath. You're not lost. You're not. You're on the right path. The fact that you don't have the answers right now doesn't mean you're lost. The fact that you don't have everything all figured out doesn't mean you're foolish or stupid. The fact that you don't have everything all figured out doesn't mean you're back or you're going backward. No, it doesn't. You're just learning to see things differently. You're seeing things differently. So do not give up. Do not hate yourself. Do not be frustrated. Do not say negative words about yourself. Because some of the greatest breakthroughs in life don't come with a plan. As a matter of fact, most of the greatest breakthroughs in life don't really come with a plan. They come from being present in the unknown. I say that again. Some of the greatest breakthroughs in life don't come from a plan. They come from being unknown, or rather present in the unknown, not absent. You have to be present. You have to recognize. It's in your recognition of the unknown that you sought for answers. You sought for direction. You're open to see opportunities. You learn. It's in that recognition that all of this happens. But in your absence of the unknown, there's no learning because you feel you know it all. You feel you can figure it all out by yourself, of which that is false. So again, I say there's nothing wrong in not knowing. Nothing wrong. Nothing wrong in not knowing. You don't have to rush your becoming. You don't have to pretend to know when you don't. You don't have to do that. You don't have to go with the crowd. You don't have to kill yourself because you feel you're left behind. It's okay to be figuring it out. It's okay for you to try to figure the things out, to try to find out. Sometimes the bravest things you can do is to stand in the middle of uncertainty and still choose hope. Stand in that middle of not knowing and still choose hope. Still choose to move. Still choose you. Still choose you. Remember, being uncertain doesn't mean you've lost. It means you're alive. It means you're being stretched beyond logic, in trust, in intuition. You do not have to rush your becoming. You do not have to pretend to know when you do not know. It's okay if you're trying to figure it out. It's okay. Because sometimes the bravest things you can do is to stand in the middle of those uncertainty and still choose hope, still choose movement, still choose you. Because remember, uncertainty doesn't mean you are lost. No, it does not. It means you are alive. It means you are being stretched beyond logic. You're stretched beyond logic into intuition, into trust, into divine timing. Sometimes not having all the answers is the beginning of the transformation. Let let that be your permission to rest. Let it just be your permission to rest. Not to rest to not try to discover. No, not rest in being dumb to wanting to learn. No. Resting to trusting that this is a process and not killing yourself over the fact that you do not know. Resting to also want to discover, but not being bitter about the situation. Resting to trust the answers that will meet you when you are ready. Yes. Resting to trust the answers that will meet you when you're ready. Sometimes the miracle is not in the plan, it's in the person you become when the plan falls apart. Because it's so easy, like I said, for us to always feel not like I said, not everybody has it all figured out. No, not everybody has figured their life out. Not everyone. Do not batter yourself over answers that you've not gotten. Do not dwell in frustration and bitterness over situations that you're trying to get off from. Do not feel depressed because you feel you've given everything and you've not gotten the results that you hope for. The miracle is in you not falling apart, not knowing, not having the answers, not knowing the path or the way or the direction to follow is not death. It's an opportunity to learn, to rediscover. Be hopeful. What you're going through now is a phase. Be hopeful. That's it for today, family. If this does resonate with you, please share with someone who is pretty much in a season of waiting or wondering. And remember, you don't have to have it all figured out. Thank you. I hope this helps. And please do not forget to like, share, subscribe to our pages, follow us on all of the social media platform. And until next time, peace. Bye, guys.